Here in the heart of the southwest Karri country is Pemberton, the trout angler's paradise. Constantly flowing streams and magnificent timber country are characteristic of the district. These giant Karri logs are on their way to the Pemberton timber mill, believed to be the largest in the southern hemisphere. The forests and rivers are all dependent on the heavy annual rainfall, an average of 52 inches. In season, world-famous eucalypts and many other wildflowers bloom, adding to the scenic beauty of the district. Fine sporting pools are interspersed by cascades and rocky rapids, making the locality ideal for trout. Formerly, the rivers of the southwest were almost devoid of fish. The first attempt at introducing trout to Western Australia was made as far back as 1874, but with little result. It wasn't until the early 1930s that trout were successfully acclimatized at Pemberton. Many rivers of the southwest were considered suitable for trout, the most important being the Franklin, Warren, Donnelly, Blackwood, Harvey, Murray, Serpentine, Canning, and Helena. Trout were found to develop to a good size in West Australian waters. The average weight of an adult rainbow is about 1.5 pounds. While the trout are not as large as those caught in New Zealand, they compare more than favorably with those taken in the colder streams of Europe and the United States of America. Millions of ovae were needed to stock the waters. Local breeding became necessary. These modern holding ponds are in the Pemberton National Park. Formerly, much time had to be spent in trapping brood fish from the streams. Now the breeders are reared conveniently in the holding ponds. Diet, however, must be closely watched. The addition of dicalcic phosphate to the original feed of liver and lung has been found to cause a marked improvement in the quality and quantity of ovae produced. Goiter is combated successfully with a supplement including a percentage of crushed crayfish. To secure ovae for incubation, the trout must be carefully stripped. Males and females are segregated and placed in nets on wooden frames. When all is ready, the females are removed from the net and the ovae are gently pressed into a bowl. Each female supplies about 1,000 ovae. Stripping begins in May and lasts approximately 6 weeks. The females are unharmed by stripping and are put back into the water. Ovae are fertilized immediately by extruding the milt from one male over the eggs from several females. After fertilization, the ovae are washed for 20 minutes while the egg membrane hardens. They are then poured into the hatching troughs. Eggs rest on specially designed trays which allow the newly hatched trout or alevins to drop through. Dead ovae must be removed daily. They are easily distinguished by their white, opaque appearance. If dead ovae are left, they develop a fungus which spreads and suffocates the good eggs. These are hatchery-produced green ovae. After 15 days, the eyed stage is reached. These eyed ovae are from wild trout, they have a darker color. In another 15 days, the tiny alevins emerge. Attached to each is a large yolk sac. This will provide nutriment for several weeks until the young trout commence to feed by mouth. When the alevins lose their yolk sac, they're known as fry. Fry are compared here with a threepenny bit. Within 7 weeks of hatching, the trout will attain a length of 1 inch. They will then become known as fingerlings. Some of the fingerlings will be liberated into quiet streams. Others will be reared to the yearling stage. These will be used to restock waters where trout have already been planted. The yearlings are about 6 inches long and are better able to defend themselves against their cannibalistic neighbors. Remaining fingerlings must be kept for breeding to ensure a good supply of ovae in coming seasons. Over the last 15 years, nearly 7 million ovae have been incubated and nearly 5 million fry have been produced. Display ponds at the Pemberton hatchery are designed for the attraction of tourists. Trout of varying sizes are on show, all carefully segregated according to size. An essential aspect of the hatchery's program is distribution. The plastic bag method of transporting young trout has proved very successful. Loss of trout is minimized, and the need for counting the fish before sale is completely eliminated. To measure the trout, the gauge is filled with water up to the first mark on the sidearm. Then fish are added till the water reaches the upper mark. This gives a standard quantity of fry. Each bag contains 1 measure of fingerlings. Here there are about 600 fingerlings to the measure. Oxygen is used to fill the bag. The trout are now ready for distribution to societies and to farmers. Trout acclimatization societies at present active in the southwest are the Serpentine Jarrahdale, the Murray, Harvey, Blackwood, Pemberton Warren. Registered societies are subsidized by the West Australian government. Private farmers provide sport for themselves and their friends by stocking their dams with trout. A bumpy journey is by no means harmful. Continual movement helps oxygenate the water. But cool weather is essential. The temperature must not rise above 70 degrees. By this method, the fish can be carried safely for some 24 hours. Trout have been distributed as far north as Gingin and as far south as Albany. These are to be planted in Bibra Lake. Trout are distributed to farmers as fingerlings between August and November. Larger fish are sent to societies in May. The youngsters are released into weedy shallows or feeder streams away from the threat of larger fish. Trout have now been acclimatized in many districts in Western Australia, but the Karri country remains their home. Here, young and old can relax in enjoyment of what Isaac Walton has described as the contemplative man's recreation. Flowering eucalypts and flowing streams, towering forests and national parks all combine to create a scene that is both tranquil and majestic.